morning, guys. Welcome back to the G.B.B. Jay again. I'm joined by Shan. Shan's what up?
What up?
Guys, Manchester United have lost to Derby County, pretty much as we predicted. Once again, Manchester United go up against a lesser team on paper. And don't take them seriously, don't put the effort in, and don't represent what this club is all about. Manchester United really were completely nullified by a Derby team that obviously heard what we said in the preview and came with an abandon that saw them go at Manchester United and push us all the way. Obviously, we score a goal in the early minutes of the game. Whether that just says to our players they're not a real challenge and everyone just immediately switches off, we got caught out. And it was only for a Fellaini header that kept us in it to go to penalties, and up steps Phil Jones. To be honest, as soon as I heard the name Phil Jones and I saw him stepping up, I thought this is where we lose the penalty shootout. Phil Jones has been, a figure that has time and time been the catalyst for conceding goals or problems that we've had in the squad, defensive issues, and now he steps up for a penalty and he just doesn't put it away. It's something that Shannon and I have spoken about time and time again. Phil Jones should have been moved on a long time ago because he's had his opportunities and he hasn't taken them. And in this case, it's been our detriment by putting him on the field. Shans, any other points of view? Because mine is obviously very straightforward. I'm not impressed.
Of course. And it was an unimpressive display, but there are one or two positives to take away from the game. Delo getting more game time like we asked for, and showed with that cross right at the end that he is a player of quality. We got him in for a reason, so if we can bet him into the team, it might be a good thing for us going forward. At this point we have to try anything because the loss to Derby looks incredibly bad.
It is incredibly bad though.
Yeah, it is. So Fellaini, I thought he was a good option to take, and he proved his worth in this match. Put away the penalty nicely, was all over the pitch and got us that late header. And of course, again, Shaw, just a really good display from him. So those are the positives. In terms of the negatives, we've got a lot. There's a lot to go through. We made some bad plays, but one of my negatives that I really want to hone in on was Jose Mourinho's demeanor and motions and attitude during the penalty compared to Frank Lampard's. Him and his coaches were united, watching the penalties together, and Jose was picking up litter like from the pitch. So that almost showed a defeatist mentality already going into that penalty, which as a coach you shouldn't be showing if the team isn't playing well. But yeah, disappointing game.
Well, and even though you say that was his demeanor going into the penalty shootout, and coming into the game, he makes statements that are not to build the team up, are not positives, are not, we're looking forward to this game. There was no real positivity before the game even, and then you get the media picking up on little nuances in what he's saying and the way he's saying things, that Paul Pogba will never be the captain of Manchester United again, obviously while he's manager. There's no positivity that comes out about it. And then now all the news after the game is that the senior players are not happy playing under Jose Mourinho. There's a big issue that we've got in the club, and there's a blame that needs to be evenly spread. It needs to be spread between the board, the manager, and the players. Because let's not give the players an out whatsoever. they're the ones on the pitch. They're the ones that keep getting these drab results, or losing games or playing terribly, and then you have players coming out saying our attitude wasn't right. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you put on a Manchester United top, your attitude should be, this club has a heritage of winning. We are the biggest club in the world, supporter-wise and money-wise. So how is it that these guys can go onto that pitch and not have the right attitude, not be prepared to play for the club? Because Derby, again, is... We can't even say that they're a Premier League team, because we're only 6 or 7 games into the season and they're not promoted. They're not in the Premier League. So they're obviously not of that quality because they weren't able to qualify. So we can't say that, they're a good team as well. And okay, you have to say they're a good team, but they're not Premier League standard team, or they would have been in the Premier League. Wolves got promoted, and we end up with a 1-1 draw against them, and they bolstered their team and brought in much better players as well. So this was a Derby team that's sitting 7th, I think, in the Championship, where a Manchester United team sitting in 6th with the results that we've had recently. It's not good enough, because the title right now, I believe, is gone. We're not fighting for the title. We're fighting for top 4 and top 6 at the moment. And the way that things are going, the club is just spiraling further and further down. Again, coming back to that blame. The players have to be blamed. The manager has to be blamed, and the board has to be blamed. But there's only one thing that can change out of all that. You can't replace all the players, and you can't replace the board, because that's just not going to happen. The only one that can be replaced is Jose Mourinho, that will create a change. And I hate to say it, because yes, he's the most qualified person to be the Manchester United manager, but he's trying to get players that have the ability to be winners in Paul Pogba, who's just won the World Cup, and you want to change the way that he plays to suit your style. He needs to now coach these players to get the best out of them, not force them to play the way that he prefers to play. Unfortunately, what we've seen from Mourinho last season, with no silverware, nothing to show for it, and then so far this season, we've been battered by lesser teams, and we've been battered by the big teams as well. So there's nothing of Jose at the moment that speaks positivity. There's nothing about Jose Mourinho's style of play that shows any consistency, and he's not getting the players on side. He doesn't motivate the players to get a result. If they're going in and they don't have the right mentality going into the game, that all comes back to the manager. The manager instills that into them. And I don't see too many players coming out and defending Mourinho. And those that do, a la Luke, Mata and Herrera, are players that are not even getting a run themselves at the moment. The positives to take, like Shannon says, is we call for Delot to start, and he did. We call for Martial to start, and he did. And those are probably the only positives. Delot again in this game was better than Valencia has been in his last 2 or 3 games. That's completely a shout now for him to start at the weekend against the Hammers. Because Valencia has been lacking that, attacking ability. He's defensively, you can't say that now being converted to a wing back, that he is better defending than he is attacking, but his defensive ability is still not up to scratch. So Delot definitely needs to start against Hammers, without a doubt. Shans, anything else to add? Because I can't see any positives, and I can't see Mourinho regaining any sort of face at the moment.
Look, it was a bad performance, and I mean, the media noise really doesn't help his case or United's case on the whole. But to put some sort of perspective on it, it's the Carabao Cup. I mean, yes, we're out. It's another cup we could have possibly taken home. But if we're not good enough to beat Derby at this point, how much further could we have gone if we did win this game? So I don't think it's panic buttons yet. I don't think it's sort of as bad as sort of sacking the manager on the spot at the moment, like has happened in the past at some clubs. But he definitely needs to change and start conducting himself in a better way. On the whole, I mean, if he just stopped the media noise, he could probably focus in on some game tactics and improving our squad. At the moment, it's just limelight for him.
Yeah, he's the manager that everyone loves to hate, but he gives him a reason to hate him. And now he's giving his own players a reason to hate him, he's giving the board a reason to hate him, and he's giving his own supporters and fans of Manchester United reason to hate him. Because you can't persist with trying to change the way that this current crop of players play. You're not going to get a new player in next week. You're not going to get 3 players, 4 players, 5 players in January. I can guarantee that. So you have to work with what you're given. And what you have at your disposal is a World Cup winner in Paul Pogba. Get him on side. Have him playing for you. At the moment, that's not the case. You've got a world beater in Lukaku that we know his ability. And before these last 2 games was 7 goals in 7 games. So he's got the ability, and, you know, he's starving at the moment because of the lack of supply. When you play people like Valencia that can't put in a cross, you've got to work towards these players' strengths. You can't just force them into a system and say, work at the system, work at the system, work at the system. You've got to say to them, let's look at what your ability is and how can we work to help you. Because at the moment, isolating Lukaku up top with no support and then not putting the balls into him that he needs, it's shocking to say that he wants to persist with the same system that's proven to not work. It's proving that it doesn't work. He's got to change and he's got to evolve now. He can't keep playing and he can't keep saying he's got three Premier League titles. Yes, we understand that he's the most, he's got the most trophies in his cabinet. He's a world-renowned manager. He's not proving it at the moment. He's definitely not proving it because he's not allowing his tactics to match the players that he has. He's forcing the players to match his tactics. I understand that he's got a winning mentality. He knows how to win things, but you got to work with what you're given. And he's not working with what he's given whatsoever. Persisting with players like Phil Jones, it's not going to get him there. Persisting with players like Valencia, it's not going to get him there. It's not going to get him the results that he wants. And persisting with Sanchez on that left-hand side, we know it's not working. So make the changes now and let's fix it. Otherwise, he's going to be moved on and somebody's going to come in that can work with these players and it's going to show him up. If Paul Pogba has to move on and go to Barcelona or wherever he ends up, I guarantee you he's going to get more goals and more assists in the same amount of games that he's played for us and absolutely destroy it. And we're just waiting to see that. Guys, in closing, really disappointed in the fact that we've gone out to a Derby team that wanted it more than us and played better than us. There's too many times we've said that this season. Guys, please comment, subscribe, like, and share. Check us out on our social media platforms. Shans, thanks for joining me in this one. And we'll be back with the review for Manchester United versus Hammers this weekend. Guys, thanks for joining us. Shot.